There is a very, very fine line between being supportive and being imposing and being too much. Goodness gracious, I've not filmed a sit-down video in quite a while. Oh, it feels really strange. But hello, how are you? I hope you're very, very well. And thank you to everyone who stuck around while I've been busy. I have big issues with dreamcasting. For those of you who don't know, dreamcasting is basically when fans of musical theatre talk about who they would love to see in a particular role. For example, Dear Evan Hansen has just been announced for the West End, and everyone and their dog is saying who they would like to play Evan. And I think it's perfectly normal to have the thoughts and things about who you would like to play that role, but it's when it gets into talking online about who deserves the role, tagging said people, tagging casting directors, all of the above, it's too much and I think it needs to stop. I used to have no issues with dreamcasting. I even filmed a dreamcasting video. That's now obviously been taken down, but I didn't think there was an issue with it. I thought it was complimentary, I thought it was nice, it was just showing your support, and I didn't see the other side of things. And from in being dreamcast? Yeah, you can't be casted. Being dreamcast, I think it can be quite harmful, specifically through Twitter. I mean, I'm saying Twitter because that's where I see the majority of it, and I think that's where it's the most kind of open forum for it. The thing is, I'm not trying to be mean to people who are supportive on Twitter, and I have to state that I don't think these people are aiming to be harmful and are aiming to be hurtful, but I just want to share my reason for making this video is to explain how it feels and my personal issues with it. I don't want people to think that I'm being horrible, specifically to people who have supported me. I just need to explain the impact that it has. So my main issues with dreamcasting are, I have 4 of them. My first one is the person you're tagging on Twitter may not want the role. They may not like that show, or they may even have another show that is in the pipeline and all signed for, but it's not announced yet, and it then makes them uncomfortable as to having to feel like they have to reply to things. As they say, they may just not want the role. Number 2, there may already be someone cast in that role. It must be so uncomfortable if you have been cast in a role and there's still people on Twitter going on about how this person deserves the role, or this person should be the role, or this person, and you're sat there like, but I've got the role. Does that mean that people won't support me when it's announced? Number 3, and this is a tricky one. If there is substance behind Twitter following and support having an impact on casting directors' choices, it can ostracize new workers going into the profession. There are thousands of people who come out every year from drama schools and universities across the country ready to go and follow their dreams in the West End. If the same people are always being put forward for it, it can ostracize the new people trying to get in there. It can be perpetuating the idea that social media following and support is more important than talent and who is most suited to the role. And number 4, you could be dreamcasting somebody who wants that role more than you could possibly imagine. It gives them hope. It makes it so much harder when they eventually don't get the role or don't even get an audition, and the latter happened to me. I think it's only reasonable, if I'm talking about this, to talk about how it directly affected me and why I feel so strongly about this now. So let's take it back to like April and May of this year, I think. So Heather's was announced as coming over to the UK, and immediately I got tons and tons of messages, 2 types. Firstly, asking me what I thought about Carrie being cast as Veronica, and secondly, was I going to be playing Martha, and tagging me with the casting director and Paul Taylor Mills, who's the producer, and a hashtag was created. I mean, I've said so many times how much I would love to work at the other Palace, and Heather's is obviously one of my all-time favourite musicals, and to play Martha would be a complete and utter dream role for me. To have people message me in that way meant so much to me. So I graduated in 2016, and for the first year I came out, I didn't perform at all. I went and did a very regular, normal job, and as I say, I didn't perform literally for an entire year. I did nothing. It was a whole thing. And so it was only the last couple of months before this announcement was made that I was like, you know, I think I'm now ready to kind of venture into following my dreams and financially and mentally commit to it, because obviously trying to pursue musical theatre is very difficult and you have to be ready for it, I think. I'd just been dipping my toe into the business, I suppose. And it had taken me a lot to start performing again, and the fact that these strangers on the internet were tagging me and supporting me, expressing interest in me as a performer, meant more to me than I could ever explain. Honestly, it was unbelievable, that feeling. I'd never had that before. You know, you often hear how social media following has such a huge influence, and I thought, well, maybe I am very new out there, but maybe I could even get an audition, or maybe this could happen for me. And I allowed myself to kind of be swept into the whole situation. I think us as performers, we put our lives and our souls so much into our work, and to have people support that, I think it's quite easy to get wrapped up in it. It was naive, and it hurt all the more when I obviously didn't get it. I didn't even get an audition. So one night I came out of the theatre, I'd been to see The Grinning Man, and I came out and I checked my phone, and somebody had tagged me on Twitter with a screenshot of the Wikipedia page for the Heathers production, and under Martha it said my name. I was horrified. There'd been no casting other than Carrie at the moment, so it was all TBC. There is a very, very fine line between being supportive and being imposing and being too much. Somebody had put my name there, and I was honestly horrified. I thought, my God, what if somebody sees this and thinks that I've done it, which would just be so unprofessional and so weird. So obviously I went and swapped it right back. Like, thank God you can edit Wikipedia. But that was when it started to feel out of hand for me. I started turning my responses into jokes. It's a way that I deal with stuff. I joke about everything, but we'll get to that. So when the casting was eventually announced for the full cast, it was announced that Jenny O'Leary would be playing Martha, and I was like, fair game to you. She is super experienced, she's got loads of West End credits, she was amazing in Rent. I was just like, well done, she deserves it. No bad blood, no jealousy, no nothing. Just a big old well done. However, the tagging and the comments, both in person when I would go to the theatre and meet followers or whatever, and also online, they didn't stop. My way of dealing with things, as I say, is comedy. So I would switch things around to make myself feel better at the fact that I didn't get an audition and I didn't get the job, you know? It's so weird, because when you think about it, when you look at it, you're like, I don't know. It was just such a strange experience for me to go through. And for people to come up to me and say that, again, I'd never had anything like that before, and it was weird, and I didn't know how to deal with it, so I would reply with jokes. Jokes are subjective. People who don't know me might have thought and did think that I was being rude or I was being disrespectful to Jenny, which was never my intention whatsoever. We all make mistakes, but still, I would never have done anything with malicious intent. Online, it looked differently. Anywho, I have spoken to Jenny now. We're cool, hopefully. I think we are anyway. We've spoken about it. I continue to be a Heathers stan, you know? I love Heathers. I think it has now all been put to bed. Thank God the tagging and things have stopped. I now much more quietly support Heathers. I am excited to see where it goes after its run ends this Saturday. Blimey, I'm getting away from myself. Anyway, as I say, I didn't think it would be right to do a video on this without explaining my feelings and personal involvement, and to give a personal experience of this to back up my opinion, and I hope that people maybe understand the situation a little better. But anyway, I have seen so much dream casting recently that is just pushing me over the edge. It's annoying me. It's not with me personally. I don't think that I'm the right casting type for Evan Hansen, but it makes me feel really, really uncomfortable. I've seen like reputable theatre companies on their Twitter have like a poll where they list like 4 actors, say, who do you think deserves to play Evan Hansen? What? It's becoming like a popularity contest. People voting for who they think deserves it. Everybody bloody deserves it. Everyone who works hard and loves performing deserves it. Do you know what I mean? It makes me uncomfortable to see people being tagged and then having to talk about it. Having to awkwardly make a comment like, no, I'm not casting that. I don't know, it's just annoying. I'd be very, very interested to hear what you guys think. I would like to see if you have a different side of the opinion. Do you think it's fine to have dreamcasty thoughts but not fine to tag people? Is none of it fine? Is it not up to us? Is it up to casting directors? Is that why there are casting directors and, you know, it's not a popularity contest, it's not the X Factor? Or is it all fine and I'm just being soft and I shouldn't have been sucked in? I want to know what you guys think. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you think. I'd be very, very interested, and I'll see you in the comments below. I hope people don't think I'm being difficult with this or trying to make drama, because that's not my goal either. I just think it's important to talk about this stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Bye.